Measles, the video no one wants, but everyone should see. Okay, well, so far, where all have cases been identified? Globally, we are seeing an uncomfortable amount of cases pop up. But specific to the United States, as of February 6, 2024, the states with measles cases confirmed have been Clark and Waukegan County, Washington, Los Angeles County, California, Clay County, Missouri, Montgomery County, Ohio, Philadelphia, PA, Camden County, New Jersey, Wilmington, Delaware, Montgomery County, Maryland, and Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, what do we know about measles? T. Ryan Gregory on Twitter gives us a few reminders about measles. Measles has been known for 1,000 years and it still hasn't evolved to be benign. Measles can cause immune amnesia, wiping out immunity to other pathogens. This was discovered only a few years ago. The measles virus was identified in 1954, and the disease has been described since the 9th century. Measles infection increases susceptibility to other pathogens over both short and longer timescales. Luckily, measles seems very unlikely to evolve immune escape, but the measles virus may persist in the body for several months after infection. Okay, what are some of the impacts and long-term complications? Measles is known to cause transient immunosuppression, but close inspection of mortality data suggests that it disables immune memory for 2 to 3 years. A name that studies long-term measles-induced immunomodulation increases overall childhood infectious disease mortality. Here we see that the study found that measles has a more prolonged effect on host resistance extending over 2 to 3 years, where immunosuppression that predisposes people to opportunistic infection occurs. And these effects are due to the depletion of B and T lymphocytes, which is the memory branch of our immune system. But vaccination is helpful. Okay, I've been vaccinated. Am I protected? Dr. Gary Alcindor tells us that the MMR immunity, which is the measles, mumps, rubella, wanes at 9.7% per year after the first dose. After 2 doses, it's 4.8% per year. Harry Berger responds to Dr. Gary Alcindor by saying, so by that math, if your last dose was over 20 years ago, you don't have much left? I know I was a lot younger than 20 the last time, so how do I get a booster? And Dr. Gary Alcindor responds, you can always get your titers checked first through your doctor. And if your titers are low enough, they can give you a booster shot. Okay, what are the signs and symptoms? David Noble states, if you lack immunity to measles, here's what could happen. After an average of 10 to 12 days of coming into contact with the virus, you start to show symptoms. The first sign is usually a soaring temp, usually above 104 degrees. Before a typical rash appears, you may already be infectious. During a phase called prodromal, i.e. the phase between initial symptoms and the appearance of fever rash, typically malaise will set in, along with loss of appetite. This is typically accompanied or followed by the classic 3 C's, conjunctivitis, cough, and coryza, nasal inflammation. And malaise is really just a general feeling of unwellness. Look out now, here comes the rash. Typically, this is where the disease is at its worst. If you're immune deficient or you are an infant that's lost passive immunity before being vaccinated, your risk of complications is now at its highest. Pneumonia is a common complication. You're going to have a period of immunosuppression as a result of the infection, so you're susceptible to pretty much anything contagious. While you are contagious with measles, you're going to spread it to pretty much everyone around you who isn't immune. In fact, for measles, the R0 is often cited to be between 12 and 18, which means that each person with measles would, on average, infect 12 to 18 other people in a totally susceptible population. Measles usually starts with cold-like symptoms, followed by a rash or fever days later. Some people may also get spots on their mouth. The first symptoms of measles are cold-like symptoms, meaning a high temperature, a runny or blocked nose, sneezing, cough, red, sore, watery eyes. And that's when it's most infectious. An infected individual may have small white spots that may appear in the inside cheeks and on the back of the lips a few days later. These spots usually last a few days. Onto the rash. The rash usually appears a few days after the cold-like symptoms. The rash starts on the face and behind the ears before spreading to the rest of the body. The rash looks brown and red on white skin. While it may be harder to see on brown and black skin, you may see raised areas that have more pigmentation to them. I hope that helped. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments. If it was helpful, I do hope you like, share, and follow. So buckle up, guys. Things are about to get bumpy.